What is up, everybody? Today we're gonna go for a ride downtown Orlando. City riding's a little bit different, but we're gonna take the Panigale 2024 V4 out and see how she handles. I actually love riding in the city. It's gonna be a good time. Come along for the journey.
What's up, everybody? Chilly here on the last ride before the unlock. Still breaking her in, but we're getting close. We are getting close. I made a call to the service department over at Ducati Sanford, and I think we're going to get her in this week and unlock the ECU. Oh yeah. I thought it might be a perfect day to cruise around downtown Orlando. It's a cool little city, Orlando. Cool. Orlando's it's not a big city by any means, downtown Orlando itself, but it's got a lot of personality. I mean that because it's got a lot of old school brick roads around, and you got Lake Eola. I was actually born and raised in Chicago, a little different. And actually I grew up riding in the city too. And that's where I grew up, started riding. Loved it. It's a lot different than riding other places. You gotta be definitely a little bit more vigilant, a little bit more alert whenever you're in traffic or downtown, especially downtown. This bike is like, I've got it in race A right now, but I might throw it down the street to see how she does in the back here as soon as I get shot. But this is the beginning of basically where the office buildings are, the equivalent of the Loop in Chicago. But nah, there's no comparison city-wise. As in size. I mean, it's not a very big city by any means. Yeah, I grew up, all my buddies, we used to all ride downtown Chicago. That was a blast. We used to ride in big packs. We used to go to the old stockyards in the south side, and that's where we used to race. This is Church Street. This is where all the bars are. It's not exactly happening right now, but actually I wouldn't mind getting a picture here. Been married for 33 years. She's hot. That is a fact. My girl. And she has no idea I'm recording because I have a smoked windscreen. But I love that girl. Let's keep on going for a little ride through downtown. Hope those pictures turned out alright. But this is a cool street. This is what I was talking about throughout these old brick roads is awesome. And Friday, Saturday nights the place gets packed. It's pretty cool. I haven't been down for a long time, so I can't. I'm sure it does get packed. I've been kind of out of the bar scene for just a few years, you might say. Man, what the heck is that nasty looking big old pole looking at me? I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want that bad boy coming at you in the highway. You'd be through Dilla. Hey, you know what, while we're here, let's put it in, how about street. I rode in street earlier, and it's definitely, you could feel it in the throttle, and definitely there's a little bit less power. I think I compare it to like a 750, a newer 750. It's kind of wild to think that back in the early 90s, I think the superbikes we had 150, 160 horsepower, and they weighed more. If I get a chance, that's one thing I'm definitely going to do. If I can get some extra cash one of these days, I would love to purchase one of my older bikes that I had, one of the old school. I'd look at like the 90 GSXR that I had, my first bike that I bought brand new. And I never been I like new stuff. Believe me, I'm a new stuff type of dude. I'm a big fan of new stuff that doesn't break and is warranted. But I think it'd be kind of cool to ride around one of my first bikes. Yeah, definitely a little bit more tame, I'll tell you. Still loves to be on them high RPMs. It's not a big fan of going around below 20 miles an hour, but yeah, old Aston Martin right there, huh? And a little RDR8. I like it. I like that the boys are out. Maybe we'll follow them, huh? That's a good looking car. I've never driven one. I've been fortunate to drive a lot of cool cars when I instruct. When I do some track days instructing with PCA and Chin Track Days. Chin Track Days is a real awesome event. They do really well. They're very professional and safety orientated. But I've driven a lot of real nice cars, and by far my favorites are for the Porsche. Driven the new GT3 RS. I've driven all the 991.2 RSs, and those are some amazing machines too. I absolutely am talking about stuck to the ground. Come in at turn 17 at Sebring at 155, and I get on the brakes on those with those big wings. I get on the brakes literally 100 feet later, 150 feet, 200 feet later than I do like in a regular 911. I think a plan would definitely be to drag these bikes. Look at this thing. GLE 63 AMG with it's got to be a wrap, huh? Some nice rigs downtown. This actually brings up a pretty good little point. You know, I'm used to driving downtown in the city. Chicago's a little bit more packed. New York is even more packed, but you have to keep your awareness a little bit, I would say, a few notches up, because you got a lot of people going in and out. I mean, when I'm on the highway, I like to switch lanes a lot, but just to try to make myself more aware, and that's what usually those are when I'm on a longer cruise. I like to go about 4 or 5 miles an hour faster than the traffic itself. But when you're in the city, you have so much going on, so many people going from, you know, left, right, switching lanes at the last minute. It's really good to keep aware around you. And I also like to keep my lane in here, my lane inside the lane, and that's just because if there's more bikes out, it lets them know. It's kind of like when you're at the track, you hold your line, be consistent, and that coincides with riding a bike here. I like to stay in my line, which is this right here. Like if there's anyone around, they're gonna buzz by me in the right. If you get inconsistent, that's where crap can start happening. That's one of the things I'm going over with Brett, is usually at the beginning of the day, and he's getting used to it. He likes to be in this lane right here, to my right. and we stay pretty consistent that way. And every time we stop, I reassure him. I go, listen, you want the left or the right? And lately he's been sticking with the right side, which is cool. So we're getting pretty consistent. So now we know each other. Now things change when you're out riding with other people in a big group you don't know, especially if guys are going out, you know, stunting and doing wheelies. And when you get into a group, you tend to get into that group mentality, and everyone starts showing off, and unfortunately that's when the accidents start happening, which is no good. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, when you're out riding with your boys and gals, that's a good time. And like in the other videos you've seen, is all over through Central Florida, you have these really cool big oak trees everywhere. I get up every day at 4:30, I go to the gym. I'm at the gym at 5 a.m. Skip leg day for the past 20 years, but that's alright. That's what pants are for, right? Actually, I've been hitting abs. And I train jiu-jitsu as well at 57. Here's the streets I'm talking about here. All throughout Orlando, you have these. I like this. This reminds me of the north side of Chicago, north suburbs. They have these old brick roads everywhere. It's really cool. And some of the suburbs around Orlando themselves have these old brick roads as well. I really think it brings a lot of personality to the city. Test the suspension, huh? Boy. I think this is kind of cool. I like these kind of roads. These people making some good cash walking doggies down there. These guys want me to do a wheel up here, and not realizing that the front loader wouldn't be too happy. Yellow meets red, red meets yellow. I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you, Orlando's beautiful. It definitely has some personality, and I like all these old roads. But I'm used to Chicago. I grew up in the city. I'll be honest with you, you come down to Orlando, don't blink. Don't blink, because you'll be right through it. Yeah, you can definitely. It's definitely got a lot less power here in the street mode. But I'm also below, I'm low RPMs. You know, to this day, and I've been riding a long time, I am not a big fan of lane splitting, especially in the city. I'll tell you a little story back in the day. It happened a few times. The boys and I and the gals and I were out riding. This was in Chicago, and I think three times we've had people open up their doors while parked, and these guys were, they get nuts. They're in a group and they start lane splitting on the inside and just smack on these doors. And I can see it, and if there's an accident, a construction on the highway, you want to save time. It saves everybody time. But I take it slow. I'm not a big fan of going splitting lanes. It's too much crap. You're putting yourself in a situation. Avoidance. Especially city riding. If you can avoid a situation, avoid it. There's no need to go splitting down the lanes right here when there's red light after red light. Because all it takes is someone just to turn into you, a right wheel, a left wheel. Not worth it. Thursday nights they usually have bikes running around. Actually, Orlando's got a really big bike scene. And you got everybody. You got the stunt guys, cruisers, Harleys. Yeah, there's even a few crinkles out riding. Here's Lake Eola right here. Well, thanks for coming along for this trip. It was a quick little journey downtown Orlando. I really do appreciate you guys watching. It means a lot. I enjoy doing this, like I keep on saying. I'm just going to bring some cameras along and take you guys for a ride. Just let me know what you want me to do. Link in the comments down below. And we'll do for the different cruises here and there. I'm all about it. Thanks again, and old Chili, I'm out of here.